And joining us now, she's the head coach at LSU. Is this right? 10th season at LSU? Is this right? This can't be right. Beth Torina joining us here on In the Circle. Am I right on this, or the time is flying?
Time is flying. When I got this job, I had no children, and now they're bossing me around and telling everyone what to do. So, yes, 10 years.
That's unbelievable. It's only seemed like yesterday. I mean, obviously, we've known each other since you were an assistant at Houston, you were a head coach at FIU, and then I remember I'll never forget the day you ended up at LSU. It was like, wow, this is incredible. And here we are, 10 seasons later. I mean, I know you've had some time and discussed that, but what does that mean to you that this is your 10th season? I mean, the trophies in the background in your room and everything you've accomplished. I mean, does it seem like surreal, like so fast it's gone?
Yes, it's flown by. And I think the thing that is, when I look back, I mean, I remember the first time walking down the hall and how I was just shocked that I could possibly be the coach of a place this awesome and everything it represented. And to follow someone like Yvette Gerard, I mean, who's just amazing Hall of Famer. I mean, she's just done it all in the sport of softball. She's on Louisiana, so to follow her. But when I look back on our time, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is all of the awesome women that have played their hearts out for the purple and gold and all of the things that they've done to represent this university. And we're just so proud of them in their time here, but even more so in all they're accomplishing now in their lives.
No question about that, and it is pretty remarkable on the run. And obviously, since this fall, this has been a unique kind of a preparation for the season, unlike the previous seasons before. What has this been like for you? Kind of navigating through obviously a bigger roster of your team, as well as navigating through a schedule that's probably been affected because of what everybody's dealing with these days. What has that been like for you?
Well, I've said it a few times, I'm not sure that the best softball team wins this year. I think it's the team that has the best organization that can navigate the challenges and the things that are put in front of them for this season. I think there's a lot more to this upcoming 56 games than just softball. So I think there's been a lot. I think it has challenged us. I think it has challenged us in a great way, that we've been forced to grow in what we do as coaches. And I'm not sure without COVID that we would have changed a thing. We would have just kept doing the same routine. But I'm glad that it forced us to change because I like a lot of the things that we're seeing from our team. And I like a lot of the new ideas we're incorporating. And I'm not sure we would have done it if we didn't have to. So it's forced us to think differently. And I think we've enjoyed the challenge. And I mean, we'll see if it works. Who knows, but we're hopeful and we like what we're seeing here on campus.
What's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself through this and what you've learned about your team?
I think our team is capable of a lot of things. And I think there's been so many challenges this year that they've had to deal with. And I think, from the climate in our country and dealing with race and dealing with COVID and dealing with so many different things, online classes, I mean, you name it. And these kids have had to do it. And I think the thing we've learned is that they're capable. They can do hard things. They're adaptable, they're flexible, and they're goal oriented. If they set their mind to something, they're going to accomplish it no matter how many challenges stand in their way. I think that's been the cool thing about this is we've seen them do that. I think for myself, I've seen that I'm capable of different things too. Apparently I can be a really bad school teacher, educator. I am terrible at first grade and kindergarten, but I was creative. I had lesson plans and we are still moving along. We're moving forward in school. So look at all the things I'm capable of.
I think you're being a little harsh on yourself there. I'm going to have to address that with the other half of that to confirm or deny if that is the case there as a teacher there, but it's been fascinating though. And you've mentioned it though, that you've done some things this fall that you're glad you did some things differently that you might do maybe moving forward. It sounds like perhaps now moving forward. It's because I've had coaches tell me that they've liked some of the things they've done that they would not have done if it wasn't for the fact of the COVID restrictions. What are some of the things you've done that you've really liked that you weren't expecting?
Well, I think, we split our team into smaller groups just to keep them safe. And I think those groups have allowed us to compete differently, to challenge them differently. I think they've gotten more reps, more individual attention than they ever have. I do think, of course, we've missed a little bit of the team component, but to me, that's the nature of it. That's where we're at. And I think we've been creative trying to find ways to get them playing with each member of the team at some point. The fall was a 6-week fall for us. And every week you played with a different group of of athletes, and so they got to be around each other, and it was cool. They got to be around each other in smaller groups, so maybe there were only 2 or 3 outfielders that week in your group, so you really got to know the person you were playing next to, instead of just having a group of people and the loudest voices would sometimes drown out the others. So I think it was an opportunity for them to grow on a different level. The competition that we have faced here just in purple and gold has been incredible. I tell them all year that some of our toughest competition is definitely going to be right here at Tiger Park every afternoon. So it's been fun, it's been competitive, and we've really enjoyed seeing them compete in some different ways.
I remember I asked you about this at fall media availability about the expanded roster and the chemistry with that, and you said that you think about that every day. Uh, how's the chemistry now? I know it's an evolving process, but what has that been like as far as the chemistry? Because it's a bigger roster, got players, as we'll talk about, back that got an extra year and things like that. So how is that now as we're a couple close to the season?
I think it's a constant process. I think it's something we're still trying to figure out every single day. I mean, we have 24-year-olds and 18-year-olds on this team. So, it's a gap that we've never seen before. We have 2 players that are, one's 24 and one's about to be 24. So on this team, and then, we have kids that just turned 18 in the fall. So I think there's a big gap. I think, of course we are a diverse program and we always have been, but just continuing to add, we're up to 29 players from all over the country. I think, there's always challenges when you're trying to get a group of people to come together, but I do think they're larger this year, and it's something that we're working on daily, whether it be with some mental training, giving everybody a chance to stand up in front and have a voice about, some of the mental stuff we're doing with Brian Kane, some of our just things that we have within our culture. So we're trying to provide opportunities, but it's a work in progress every day.
I'm trying to think, in your career, have you ever had basically the entire pitching staff back from the year prior, like you have with this team, this deep staff that was #1 in the country last season before the season came to an end, and all of a sudden with obviously Gorsuch back and everybody's back basically. I don't know if you've ever had that in your career where everybody's back. You've had top, maybe 2, 3 top pitchers back, but not literally the entire staff.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, we had Hoover and Jasper together for 4 years, so don't forget about that little tandem.
Yeah.
But it's pretty amazing, and some really cool things have been happening in our bullpen that I'm really proud of. And when you see, we set up some competitions in there, and when like Sinceri and Gorsuch will go against each other, and it's like we're all watching a tennis match back and forth because it's so competitive and fun, and they're encouraging for each other and also competitive, which is such a cool thing about the bullpen. It's that they can pull for each other and genuinely care for each other, but yet still want to go out and win for LSU and accomplish all of their personal goals too. So this is a fun staff. I'm enjoying working with them. They're all very different. They're going to give us so many different looks. I think they're going to be a big key to being difficult for teams to prepare for, and just a big key to our success this year.
And that's the thing. It sounds like internal competition right there is really making the best out of them because they're such a deep staff and everybody wants to get the ball and pitch, and they know they gotta bring it in practice and they gotta bring it every day. So when their number's called, they're ready, right?
Definitely. But you're also going to come to our bullpen and just hear absolute joy for each other, especially, I call Allie Kilponen our glue. Mara Beth has a ton of energy too, but I mean, Kilpo's cheering for everybody, every pitch, all the time in there. And she's, kind of the one I think that sets the tone for it being a team and a staff and not just a group of individuals out there pitching for themselves. If I don't have it today, I'm confident in the next person I'm going to give the ball to. I think that almost allows you to be a little freer on the mound, to know that the weight of the world is not just on your shoulders. You've got a group of women that are there in it with you, and you're confident in all of them the same way you're confident in yourself. It's a really fun dynamic, and I just love the atmosphere in the bullpen with this group.
Is that part of the enjoy there, that you enjoy and I've had people tell me this that have gone into coaching. We had Wall Jasper on, and he went in coaching. She says the thing that she enjoyed of her time is the fun being in the bullpen, that it's not work, it's just fun being. I can't wait to be at practice, and they kind of thrive, that energy that gets them into coaching even later on, which we'll talk about later. But is that something you make sure that the pitchers have fun in that bullpen and it's not a stressful thing?
Well, we enjoy our time together. we're always getting stories. Shelby Wickersham's always telling us some kind of thing. And that, I mean, she's always got some kind of story that we're hearing. And, you know, the others are telling her to be quiet so they can get their work done. And it's always you never know what's going to happen. A lot of the other players stop by the bullpen every day. It's kind of like where you pass by. So we get a lot of visitors. So we get, you know, a lot of attention. There's always a lot going on in there. We always have fun toys and sticks and ropes and different kind of softballs we're playing with. So I think it's the place to be. I'm sure the hitting people would argue that the new hitting facility, is the place to be, but I'm a big fan of what happens in the bullpen.
You mentioned, obviously, let's talk about the offense. Georgia Clark was tremendous last year, 425. Talk about her and such a really kind of coming out party, if you will, for some people that maybe the casual people that didn't know her. What makes her such a great hitter?
All of it. I think she is as talented as she is intelligent, as she is a pillar of our program and our culture, and just stands up for the right thing. So I think, you know, it's all of it put together, but you know, I think she's as talented as any hitter we've had come through here. I think she is capable of huge things, and, you know, it's tough her freshman year, maybe didn't get the time that she wanted, but she stuck it out and stayed the course and got better. And now hopefully it'll truly be her opportunity to shine. I know she started out so well last year, just leading the offense for us. And I think we have those expectations for her again.
Of course, it wouldn't be, a season preview, if you will, without talking about an Andrews on your team. Aaliyah Andrews, an all-SEC performer. So dynamic, so smart too. Like, just to describe her, and obviously you've known her for a long time, obviously with the family, but LSU and the Andrews, I feel like it's synonymous.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like to coach in a year without one. It's interesting that we got her back, because I was thinking how we would do it, you know, and so we got another chance at it, which is fun. But just a phenomenal talent. I mean, her speed, you know, we have other kids that are fast, but I don't know if they're Aaliyah fast, we say all the time. So she can just do so many things. She had us all on our feet with a standing ovation, with a catch in practice yesterday. I mean, the things that she's capable of and are just incredible. And it's fun watching her play every day and cheering for her. And she's a special, special talent. There's no question about it.
And the leadership. I mean, I've seen her like in the media availabilities, and you could so well spoken. That's a huge value to you, right? With having some of the seniors that came back, that leadership and experience that they will bring, that you don't need to worry about right away, right? Like they've been through it, they know what the program is like. That had to be huge when you kind of knew that they found out you were coming back.
Definitely. With her, Amanda Doyle especially too, you know, I say it when they're at the plate all the time. It's just a veteran at bat. It's just a intelligent at bat. They're going to swing at the right pitch. They've seen it before. They've been in the situation, you know, I all the time. I just know they're going to give us a quality at bat. I call them veteran at bats all the time. And then on the field, they're just going to help us make all the right choices. They're going to lead us. Elia has done a lot of that through her entire career. Amanda Doyle has really stepped into that role. We challenged her last year. You know, she was the kind of the lone returner out there with a bunch of young people in the infield, and we really challenged her, and she has just grown into that role, leaps and bounds, and is a huge for us on the infield. So it is nice having these kids that have been in the system for a long time. Makes us lazy as coaches, because we can just sit back and let them do all the work. And you know, one day I had just the freshmen on the field, and I told everybody, man, I had to work today. I had to actually coach the team. I didn't have Doyle out there and Aaliyah to coach the team. So it's really, really nice having them around.
It's huge for your team, and it creates depth, and that's obviously something you have. We've talked about that. How do you feel about the depth as far as offensively in the lineup is concerned, and defensively? Because I think you mentioned in the fall, you think this could be the best defense that you put out there at LSU here in recent memory.
Yeah, the depth is crazy. I mean, we have so many options. You don't really know which way to turn. We have a lot of talented players, a lot of deserving players that need time. So it's going to be interesting how we manage it and how we do with it. You know, like you said, we really returned our starting lineup from last year, but then we still had kids challenging even on that last day. You know, going into the last day, every player on the team had played in a game over the weekend, you know, and then we add some really talented freshmen to it. Some people that are really just pushing the envelope every day. Danica Coffey has proved to be such a dynamic offensive player. I mean, just finds a way on base all the time. She's one of the toughest stats we have. So kids like that we're going to have to find time and space for. It's a fun problem to have.
It's a good problem there. Is that one there where you tell Coach Dobson there, like, hey, figure it out there, figure out that lineup. You got all these options you got there, and then just let me know there, or how does that process going to work for him? He's got to be excited about it. He's got so many options and pieces he could go with. That could be a fun little conversation back and forth from time to time of how to set up the lineup.
I think it's a constant conversation. I think it's more of a like, not it, you decide kind of thing than it is that. But him and Lindsay and Sandra have done such a good job with our offense, and they've worked so hard just developing these kids and growing players and growing this offense. And they've really been swinging well here in the spring, and we're excited to see what they can do. We're ready. I can't even explain to you, the anticipation of the first game is always big, but the anticipation of this first game, just because of how it ended last year, is magnified so much. It's tough to even go out there every day sometimes right now, because it's just magnified so much. You just you just want to know it's actually going to happen, right? I think there's a little bit of doubt for everybody. Like, we know it's going to happen, but it's like, let's get here and let's let it happen. So we'd like to see what this offense can do, because we think they're really talented.
You mentioned one of the newcomers there. Who are some of the newcomers, new faces that you feel that could contribute to this team? It's a unique roster from that standpoint, but still, there's always, since you've been there, there's always been a new face that contributes every year that's helped to your success. Who you mentioned one of them? Who's some of the others, perhaps, that people should be on the lookout for if you're a Tiger fan?
Yeah, in the infield, along with Danica, we have Kennedy Hushmanzada and Presley Pylon. They're both really talented players. They're really good little defenders, especially. I mean, they just do some awesome things, make some great plays. We added Hayden Brown and Allie Newland. They can both catch. Allie plays some outfield too. They're both bring a ton to the offensive side as well. I think they're going to be exciting to watch. Morgan Smith and Emily Casanova on the mound. Morgan is a really highly recruited player that can just do anything. She can play the outfield, she can hit, she can pitch, and she can look good doing it all. So, a lot of fun with that one too. But it's a fun group. It's an athletic group. I don't think they're in the situation they thought they would be in either. That's the challenge for everybody, right? It's not the exact team that they thought they'd be a part of, but I think they're enjoying it. They're playing with people they wouldn't have gotten to play with. They wouldn't have been on the team with Aaliyah or Maribeth. And I think they're trying to make the most of that and understand they can learn from these people in a way that they hadn't been scheduled to. And I think they're our theme this year is to make it count. I think they're trying to make this year count, make the most of these moments that they get. They'll never be this exact team ever again. We tell them that all the time. So enjoy the opportunity to be with this group right here and right now.
You said you can't wait to get to the season there. The schedule, we talk, it's everybody's navigating through the schedule. I'm sure you've had to adjust the schedule like everybody has. What has that process been like for you and the staff as far as when it comes to the schedule? Because you probably had one schedule going in and had to make some changes. Take us through that process, which is so unique and will probably even maybe evolve during the season. Who knows? Depending if you've seen the other sports where they've had to navigate through the schedule and adjust on the fly.
It's been a bit grueling. It has been long, and I'm a logistics person. I like to know how things are going to work, and it has been tough to navigate. But I'm a psycho-logistics person. All my people here will tell you. I need to know, how are we going to walk to the field today? How are we going to enter? Which gate? I'm like, so not knowing who we're going to play on opening day has been stressful. But I feel good about the spot we're in. We didn't back down from anybody, that's for sure. We really challenged our team with what's in front of them. Reading the top 25s that have come out, we're seeing a lot of our opponents listed on there, not just in the SEC, but in our non-conference part of our schedule too. So we didn't back down, and we're excited about it. Hopefully we have the depth in the team to tackle this schedule, and we'll reap the benefits from challenging them year long at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll say you get Texas to come to your place for a 3-game series. You add Alabama as a non-conference series, a series, part of a tournament there where Liberty is part of that as well. Of course, you got the Cajuns for that home and home kind of tournament you both have started last year. So your schedule, you were really, it seems to me from looking from the outside, very creative and yet, stacked it up, but it had to help to have, a pretty creative scheduling options there in your region and as well as in your league.
Yeah, and I think, we did try to just play the best of the best. And I think we've made some sacrifices to do that. Our team's going to be on the road for virtually the month of April. But again, I think the adversity makes us stronger. There's no easy road to the College World Series. You've got to put in some work and go through some challenges. So we'll be better for it. We'll be battle tested and road tested. So it'll be fun. But, we're excited about the schedule as a whole, opening, with Duke and Kansas, McNeese here the first weekend, Central Arkansas. We have Oklahoma State, 2 games, along with ULL that weekend. So we're going to go a non-conference series to NC State, who's, done so well the last few years as well. So we're excited about the schedule. And, we want to make sure our team is challenged. And I think we've done that every year. And maybe we've taken some lumps along the way, but when it came down to it, our team was prepared for whatever was thrown at us in a regional or super regional format. We were ready to play. And I think we're better for the challenge.
We're speaking with LSU head coach Beth Torina here on In the Circle. One of the things about the offseason now that's become a tradition, at least for me and people like me that cover the sport, is, okay, which former Beth Torina player or staff member joins the coaching fraternity, either as a head coach or an assistant. There's a Beth Torina tree out there. It's a big tree. You probably know the tree bigger than I do. But, for example, I interviewed Charlotte Morgan, who just became the head coach up at CSUN. And she told me the story that you got her into coaching when you were with USSSA prior. She was a player, and you got her helped start her career in Dr. Phillips in Orlando. She said she's always been gratitude for that. So just talk about.
She can't blame me for this. I just want you to know. She can't blame me for this.
She sounded like she was not blaming it. She's pretty pappy right now. She's got a lot of work to do, I know, up there. But, I mean, just talk about that, though. And we'll go through other names. But, like Charlotte, for example, I mean, you helped her lay into this path. That had to mean something to you when you found out she's now the head coach at CSUN.
Well, we love softball, and we love people that love softball. So I think when you find people that are passionate and you know that the game needs them, I think it's important that you encourage them to keep going. We can influence so many lives and do so many things just through sport. So when you meet those people, I think, we encourage them and try to help them give back to the game. But I think, too, we love our people here. We try to give them voices any chance we can. We try to, let them have opinions and give feedback and test out their theories when possible, just have ideas and just create thought for them. So I think that helps. And it's something we're really proud of. We're really proud of our people. We're proud of our former players. We're proud of our former managers, volunteer coaches. We're super proud of our people, of everything we've accomplished. That is definitely the thing that we are most proud of is our people.
That's the thing, too. Like, you've had people in the manager position have gone into coaching. Lance McMahon was a manager for you. He's now the assistant at Illinois. He's been well regarded. He's done a great job there. Riker Chasen, who just got hired by Ole Miss to be on Coach Traxel's staff, among others. I think Eric Dixon, I believe, was a manager with you at Georgia State. Savannah Jaquish, obviously, was a player for you. She played Dixie. But more, first from a manager standpoint, what is it about being a manager on your staff that really helps them get into coaching, and is it what's the process like?
Well, I think, like I said, we let them, share ideas and talk the game and have opinions and develop thoughts and their own philosophies and ideas. And, we spend the time in the office with these guys and we talk to them and we hear them, and man, sometimes their ideas are awesome. And, we try to implement them. Right. But we just allow them to have a voice, and we love them. We try to grow them as people and coaches. And, I think we're so proud of them. We were so proud of Riker getting the job at Ole Miss this year. That was a big one. It was awesome. And he's so deserving. To me, it's a no-brainer. He just has it all, man. He knows the game, and he has people skills that are off the chart. He's going to be a great coach. So, we're proud of all of our people, and we're excited to see him succeed. As long as they're not playing our Tigers, we're always pulling for him.
Yeah, at the rate you're going, that could become a challenge where you might be dealing with them on a weekly basis at the rate you're going. I mentioned Bianca Bell's now at Quinnipiac Division I, working for Hillary Barrow's staff. I mentioned Savannah Jaquish is at Dixie State. Walt Jasper, obviously, in North Dakota State. So a lot of your players' pipeline now starting to really amp up. Obviously, Rachel Fico, that's been well documented at Georgia. But what is that like when you see your former players now coaching at different levels at D1 and trying to aspire to be the head coach. I remember I interviewed Gorsuch last year, and she wants to get into coaching whenever her playing career is done. What advice do you give your players when they say, "Hey, I want to get into coaching"? How is those conversations?
I think they're real conversations. I think, you have to be real about the challenges, real about the hours, real about I don't want to call it sacrifices because we chose this and we get to do this every day. But, there's some things that are going to be a little different about your life when you choose this job. And you can ask my kids, I mean, you can ask Howard's son. We miss a game. We miss some things, I mean, it's just the nature of it. But at the end of the day, it's worth it because the things that our kids and our families get to experience along with us are just incredible. So Mary Beth Gorsuch is going to be a phenomenal coach. Somebody is going to be lucky to grab her. And when we see these people, we get to see Fico a lot, and we're so proud of her and all of them. But, we wake up in the morning and we don't just check our own stats or scores. We're, checking our people every morning to see how they did yesterday, to see how they played. We're following them the whole way. And like I said, we're always pulling for these guys.
You got Fico in the league. Riker now is in the league. You got Kara Dill at Texas A&M. She was in the league. I mean, I joke, but it is seriously like you're going to be facing eventually most of your former player people on your staff. Which is that mixed emotions for you? What is that like? I mean, it's got to be bizarre when you face them. I think you're facing, when you face a Walt Jasper, for example, and you face Fico. It's weird because these people, you care about these people, but at the same time, you want to beat them.
No, we pretty much want to beat them. So, like I said, we're going to pull for them as long as they're not playing our Tigers. When they're playing our Tigers, we're going to go to work and go to, get after it. But it definitely challenges us because, you would think they know our system a little bit. So challenges us to make sure we're on our A game and we're doing things to the best of our ability and coaching our team that we have on the field, not getting distracted from that. So, but no, we're out to beat them when they're here at Tiger Park. Any other time, though, we're their biggest fans. Don't you worry about that.
Do you get like a Sharana McDonald, obviously a head coach at Campbell, when you have people on your staffs, how often do they reach out to you for advice? And how important is that for you? Do you feel like you're always obviously somebody that I'm sure people go to for advice? Samantha Ricketts told me that you were a big influence in her when she got the job at Mississippi State as far as advice. How important is that for you to have kind of a mentor part here in the sport to help grow the game and give these other people opportunities in the sport and help them grow?
Well, I talk to Sharonda virtually every day. She's one of my best friends. So I ask for her for equally as much advice as she asks me. And I think that goes both ways with all these guys. I trust all of these guys. Fico and I talk pitching, Ollie Jasper and I talk pitching, Riker Lance, we all talk pitching, and it's a conversation. It's not just me speaking. I trust these guys wholeheartedly, and I would, really rubber stamp a lot of the stuff that they're doing with their own teams. So, and I want to know what they're doing with their own teams too. So I would say it's more of a dialogue. Kara and I talk pitching a lot too. It's really more of a dialogue than it is anything where I'm just giving out advice. So, and I enjoy that. I love that about it. And it's a lot of fun. I know Lindsay and Howard have the same relationship with a lot of the girls that have left here as hitters with Bianca and SJ. I know they're sharing ideas and they respect their thoughts and what they've accomplished in the game.
How big is that list on that phone dial there with your coaching tree there? Like I'm sure I'm missing people I have not mentioned. I apologize in advance. It's a lengthy list in fairness, and coach has things to do. But I would imagine that phone is pretty busy there. Well, yep, there's another one of mine's there. Like you probably have tons of do you have like a group setting there where it's like, all right, this is all people that are in our family. I could all right, what do you need there?
It's fun, and it's fun when they're out recruiting and they'll send a picture of a group of 3 or 4 of them that cross paths here at the same time, and some of them are playing now or coaching differently. Victoria Hayward and Kristen Sandberg, some of those guys are have gone to do different things so that they can continue their playing careers. But I think when they all see each other out and they send photos, it's really, really fun to think about the relationships and their time here and the inside jokes. They're always sending me, when Fico and Lance and those guys, Sandberg, were together, they had this whole stick where they were like the ESPN announcers, and they'll constantly be sending me things that they would have said if they were the announcer. It's really funny. So a lot of those things just makes you happy and keeps you going all the time. So we enjoy having them a part of our lives. The list will never get too big. I don't think you can have too many friends or too many people, and we need the support of them too. So it's awesome to have a village. It's really fun, and we're really proud of our people.
Sandberg said that her time with you was among the best time of her career, playing or coaching. Just being part of you, around you, and learning from you and the staff was among the best time in her career. But she also said that because she was around you a lot, she developed some superstitious things because of you. So she blames you for that as well. What super? I'm curious. What superstitious things have you picked up now in this new culture, and what have you been able to get rid of any superstitions because of the COVID restrictions and any of that stuff at all?
I think Sandberg was so superstitious anyway. I can't believe she's blaming this on me. She's the one that's like, got to have the cooler with all the right drinks in it. And if you don't drink the drink at the right time, if the store didn't have your right drink, it's a problem. So I think she created some of that. But I do a lot of crazy things, but it's just for fun. And it's also because what can we control as coaches? Like, we're not playing, we're not the ones out there. So all I can control is if I'm wearing my jacket and if the zipper is up or down, like when we need to hit, we unzip the zippers. So we let the hits out. Yep. Right. And then when we're on defense, we got to zip them back up to make sure that the hits stay in. So, and the other rule that everyone hates that I haven't yet changed, but they want me to, is how you start the game is how you have to finish the game. So if it's going to get colder during the game, you need to get your jacket on before the first pitch. Because if you don't get it on, you're going to freeze because you can't change if we're winning. Now, if we're losing, just do whatever you want to do. But if we're winning, keep your jacket on, don't change it. And if you change it, I will stare you down until you get back to the way you're supposed to be looking.
Amen to that, by the way. I'm with you on 100% on that. I don't change if it's working. Why change? I'm with you. I'm going to 100% got your back on that. Keep doing what you got to do there. Don't listen to the other people on that because they don't understand what we understand. I'm with you. I'm as superstitious as anybody. So I try to sit on the same spot when I do interviews. Even when I'm broadcasting, I have to have it a certain way. I'm worrying if a team is winning that I want to win, I'm going to wear the same thing. That's just the way it is, and people have to deal with it, right?
Here's something they think I don't know that you'll love, okay? So I have a specific pen, right?
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay keeps a whole stack of these pens in her bag just in case I might lose mine or someone loses mine throughout the course of a game, so they can replace it, and they think that I don't know. Because they think if I lose the pen that the ship is going to sink, right? So she will secretly replace the pen if she needs to in the game, and they think I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I wish I was a wall for that. Like, because I know it. You and I are similar because I have certain pens that I know very well. So if I lose it, I kind of flip out. So I actually could relate to that. So that would have worked on me. They picked the wrong person because that's pretty good. Like, I would have said, all right, get me another pen quickly here or I'm going to lose my mind. Wow, that's an interesting trick. I've never heard that trick before. How did you react the first time they did that?
Well, I just they a pen because somebody was using it, and then I'm like, oh my God, where did you find it? And Lindsay was like, well, it was under the bench. And I was like, oh, you had the pens. So Lindsay's not a good liar, not at all. She can't do it.
Oh, see, that's it. Because you all know each other so well. You know the tendencies, don't you? That's
This staff is awesome. The fact that we've been together the entire time here is just such a big factor in what we do. Having Howard and Lindsay with me, they're not just people that I work with. They're, friends, family. I mean, we do everything together. If anything happens in our lives, they're our first phone call, for anything that goes on. So they are definitely family. So being with them the whole way, but you don't get much by us because of it. So like Howard maybe could have pulled off the pen thing, but not Lindsay. Definitely not.
Yeah, you're a tough cookie to crack. I don't think anybody would have been successful in that scenario on that. That's a wild trick. I can't believe I've never heard that's wild. You mentioned your staff though, Howard and Lindsay and Sandra, and with everything here, how big was it to have a staff like that that you could depend on? Where, hey, I don't have to be around everybody, especially in the current climate where social distance and you got to separate and whatever happens. That you have people that you trust that can run the team if for whatever reason you weren't around, or if Lindsay wasn't around, Howard could pick up you and Howard could pick up the slack and Sandra, or vice versa if Howard's not around. I mean, that's got to mean. I mean, you've probably had some experience with that with Howard and his USA commitments. Probably that's helped you in that regard to be flexible, right?
Definitely. The fact that Howard gets to Team USA is really cool for all of us. We all think it's just such a neat thing. We feel involved too through him, so it's really cool watching him do that and pulling for the team and just feeling like, we're on the inside, even though we're not at all, but we enjoy it. So, but I really can't say enough about our staff. I would, trust him with my life, my children's life, I mean, that's where I'm at with them. So of course I would trust them to do anything with this team. And then adding Sandra, who, has virtually been with us since the beginning here too. 2 years at Kentucky where, she was able to grow under Coach Lawson, which has really been cool for her development too. But just another one of my absolute favorite people on the planet. And the fact that we get to be with her every day. She is as hard a worker, just an absolute grinder worker, gets after it, is not scared of the hours or whatever it takes to win. That's how she played too. I don't know if you remember the end of her career where she just went off in that final run her senior year. And, I found on her helmet after that SEC tournament where she just went crazy. I picked up her helmet and pages of notes fell out about the other pitchers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's just who she is. Like, that's just who she is. She's going to do the work. And that has been such an awesome addition to the staff. I know we all just appreciate her efforts so much.
It's tremendous. A couple things before I let you go. You've talked about your kids and being involved, and I think one of them has been doing PA, and you think one of them could be a sportscaster here. Which one's the one that could be the heir apparent to Patrick Wright here that you're grooming here?
Yes, Taryn. Well, they all do some PA. So we
Okay.
run this thing called the process scrimmage, and Quinlan, our director of ops, is the absolute master of the process scrimmage. And it's not easy, to keep all the points and keep the teams and do all the stuff. She's unreal at this, as she is at everything she does. But so she's kind of taught the kids how to be the person on the microphone. So they'll say stuff too, like +2 strikeouts. And the team is really mad because they hear a kid calling them out for striking out or something, right? +1 free base, like, oh, I gave up the free base, so they get a little upset. But Taryn has really taken a liking to this, our oldest daughter, and she says this is what she wants to do because you get your own office and you have unlimited snacks. So that's why she likes the whole idea of the PA.
I mean, that's why we all like the PA. I've done PA. That's really the gig. It's not really that's probably the gig. That's the perks of the gig.
Yeah.
So she's learned quickly. I've noticed the emphasis on the strike there. Is that because that's the pitcher's mom there? That's kind of like, hey, you taught her like strikeouts are good, right? Is that where that came from there? A little imph there?
Definitely. She's definitely a pitcher's kid for sure. She's going to be a hitter herself. So we will see a change soon.
Ooh, maybe a two-way player.
Maybe so.
Little Shelby Sinceri deal. Last thing, what's going to be the keys now? Once you get on that field, which is going to be a great moment for everybody. I know it's been a long anticipated. Once you finally get there over that and start playing games, what is going to be the keys for your team to be successful here in 2021, as you mentioned, and I think you mentioned it, being the best team possible and navigating through this season and any adversity that it might come with?
Yeah, managing the roster is for us as a staff, I think, going to be how we use people in what situations and what scenarios where they can be successful. That's going to be the challenge for us and for our team. Stand mentally strong through the larger roster, through the adversity, through all those things, and just being themselves. I mean, if they can just, they don't have to play their best game, but if they can, play solid softball every time they take the field, I think they'll be proud of their effort and we'll be proud of them. We always tell them, just that when people leave Tiger Park, we want them to say that we played hard. That's it. They don't have to say we won or lost or hit 8 home runs. Just say that we played hard. So if we can go out every day and do that, we'll accomplish a lot of our goals right there.
Well, we look forward to seeing your team. I know many Tiger fans do, many fans in college softball just getting ready and just eager to get back on the field and certainly see your team, Coach. Thanks so much taking the time from your busy schedule there. Always enjoy doing this every year. Speaking of superstition, we do this every year, so that's part of the gig. We do it right around the same time, same days usually. So good luck. Look forward to seeing your team, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. And we appreciate you too and all you do for the sport and just keeping us going through everything that's happened this year. You've been a big part of that for us. I know we all count on you and we count on these podcasts and just keeping us going and giving us some hope. And we really appreciate everything you've done and continue to do.